Good morning, good morning. It is 11:30 Eastern Time and here we are. Oh, hold on a second. I wonder if I'm at the right place. Yes, I think I am. Sorry, just had a bit of a technical moment there. Good morning to First Chapter Fun. This is episode 38, would you believe? 38 of First Chapter Fun. If this is the first time you've joined, this is the place where, good morning, the required reading list. This is the place where I am reading the first chapter of a new book every day at 11:30 Eastern on Instagram Live and on Facebook Live. Now, Facebook booted me out yesterday. I made this comment about Facebook sometimes dropping the connection, and then it did, because of course it needed to prove its point. So if that happens, please don't worry, I will continue recording on the platform that works, generally Instagram, and then go back and start again on Facebook. So if you lose the connection, it's not you, it's me. It's all me. Well, it's Facebook. So I've seen lots and lots of people joining already. Wow, we have Michelle up on Facebook. We have Glennie from San Diego, watches every day. This is lovely. We have Amanda. We have Kara. We have Anita. We have, let me see, we have Amanda. Oh, I already said it. Another Amanda. And Sandy. And of course, Danielle Girard. And it's from her book that I will be reading today. Oh, look, there's Audio Shelf. Now, if you have not discovered Audio Shelf yet, boys and girls, you really, really must. Audio Shelf is Brad and Brittany. They've been BFFs forever and a day, and they do the most brilliant reviews of books and audiobooks, and they are so funny and so generous with their time. So go follow Audio Shelf Me, I think it is. You'll find them on Facebook and on Instagram, and they have their own YouTube channel, and their videos are just cracking. They are so funny, cracking, and they crack me up. So do go and watch them. They're just a hoot. Brad and Brittany, you know how much I love you too. You're fantastic. All right, so let's see, we have Sharon, we have Kaylee, we have, who just says, OMG, I'm so excited. I'm trying to scroll on both screens here, which is a bit tricky. We have Krista, who's joined from the UK. We used to work together many moons ago. Lovely to see you, Krista. So pleased that you joined. So let me tell you a bit about today's book and author. So this is EXHUME by Danielle Girard. So you can tell it's a thriller, right? Look at that pair of scissors and those flowers. You know it's going to be thrilling, to say the least. Good morning, Sonika. So let me tell you about Danielle. And I always have to put my glasses on because I can't see because I'm getting old. All right, so Danielle Girard is the USA Today and Amazon #1 best-selling author of, drumroll please, 13 novels. 13, 1-3. You heard that right. Isn't that mad? That's crazy. And that includes EXHUME, so the one I'm reading from today, which is the first book in the Dr. Schwartzman. I say Schwartzman because I have a Swiss-German background. Schwartzman, I think you guys in North America would pronounce it. So EXHUME is the first book in the Dr. Schwartzman series and Chasing Darkness, as well as, so that's another that she has written, as well as the Rookie Club series. So 13 books. And the Dr. Schwartzman series, there are 4 books in that one, which is just amazing. Her books have won the Barry Award and the RT Reviewer's Choice Award, and 2 of her titles have been optioned for movies. So that's fantastic. Congratulations, Danielle. That's amazing. And her newest series, of which the first book is called Whiteout, publishes in July. And you'll find all of that on daniellegirard.com. So go check that out. Not right now, because I'm going to read to you. So don't dash off just yet. Do it afterwards. So let me show you that cover again. I'm very excited for this one. I was reading it last night, and it's just brilliant. There we go. If you like thrillers and you like series and you can't get enough of it, I tell you, I'm in. I'm all in. So Danielle is actually watching both on Instagram. Good morning, Danielle, and on Facebook. So as always, I will save these videos to, it'll be on my feed, it'll be on my story, but then on my Instagram feed. and also on Facebook too, on my Facebook page. So please leave some comments for Danielle, you know, ask her. I'd like to know how tricky it is to write a series, because that's not something I've ever attempted. How do you stick with those characters for so long, for example? Or what's it like to have a book optioned for a movie? Or what's the new series about? Just ask us stuff. This is, you know, that's always lovely for authors to get engagement from readers and to be able to answer questions, because writing can be solitary in the sense that we talk to the people in our heads more than real people sometimes. So it's nice to have some company. All right, I'm going to stop blabbing or babbling, and I'm going to read you the first chapter of EXHUME by Danielle Girard. Are you ready? Are you ready? Yeah? All right then. Let's go. So I'll read you the blurb and then go into the first chapter. Dr. Annabelle Schwartzman has finally found a place to belong. As the medical examiner for the San Francisco Police Department, working alongside homicide detective Hal Harris, she uncovers the tales the dead can't tell about their final moments. It is a job that gives her purpose and a safe haven from her former life at the hands of an abusive husband. Although it's been 7 years since she escaped that ordeal, she still checks over her shoulder to make sure no one is behind her. Schwartzman's latest case is deeply troubling. The victim bears an eerie resemblance to herself. What's more, a shocking piece of evidence suggests that the killer's business is far from over and that Schwartzman may be in danger. In this pulse-pounding thriller from award-winning writer Danielle Girard, a woman must face her worst nightmare to catch a killer. And it's out now, I have to add that. So it's the first book in the series and it is out now, so you can get your sticky mitts, as my mum would say, on it right away. All right, so I'm going to show you the cover one more time. Well, actually, I'll show you at the end again, but here it is, because it's so gorgeous. There we are. And this is EXHUME by Danielle Girard, Chapter 1. San Francisco, California. Dr. Annabelle Schwartzman threaded her half-circle No. 5 suture needle, the kind normally used in orthopaedic surgery. Pinching together the edges of the Y incision she'd made an hour earlier, she began the process of closing the victim's chest. The chest and torso had been badly burned, and the fire left the skin fragile. Since there wasn't going to be an open casket, the standard protocol was to use staples to close the incision. Schwartzman preferred sutures. Staples were effective, but seemed too industrial. The sutures were slower, and she enjoyed these last minutes with the victim, the time to fully process the death before contacting the investigator. Both the intensity and the reward of the medical examiner's job were in being the final voice for a victim. Schwartzman was the last person to have access to the body, the one who decided if death was from natural causes or at the hand of another. It was intense and quiet work, the hours spent studying each piece in a puzzle that needed to be worked out. In medical school, many of her peers chose specialities in order to interact with patients, gynecology for the joys of birth, or paediatrics for the children. But those jobs came with sadness too. Fetuses didn't always make it to full term. Children developed diseases and died. As an ME, Schwartzman interacted with patients in the most intimate way, limitless in the depths she could go to diagnose a death. For many, forensic pathology would seem like an impossible choice. For her, it was the only one. People chose medicine for their heroics, to cure disease, save lives. In forensic pathology, there were no heroics, just unanswered questions. The overhead light shut off. She waved her arm in the air to trigger the motion sensor. After 7 p.m, the lights automatically turned off after 10 minutes. The halogen in the corner crackled angrily as it flickered on and off before settling into a solid glow. The hallways were dark, the room silent. Some of the department's other medical examiners worked with loud music, but Schwartzman appreciated the silence. One reason she enjoyed being in the morgue at odd hours. She'd been heading home from a dinner with some women from the police force when the morgue called to her, left her energised, ready for work. She didn't go to the morgue because there was work. The work was always there. What she loved about the morgue was the space, the smell of the grapefruit lotion she used after she'd washed up and before she donned gloves, the vinegar scent of the clean instruments and table. She always smelled those before the body. The girls' night out with her co-workers on the force had given her a chance to talk to Homicide Inspector Hayley Wyatt, to get to know her away from the crime scenes they had worked together. Schwartzman had surprised herself by opening up about Spencer. How long since she had done that? Melanie in the last year of medical school, 6.5 years ago, that was the last time she'd allowed herself to get close to someone. Her phone buzzed. A text from Hayley. "Glad you came tonight. See you tomorrow." Schwartzman smiled. She felt a growing closeness. They might become friends. Spencer kept her isolated, certainly while they were married, but even after she'd escaped. He had planted the notion that he was always close. Confiding in someone was offering a key that might be used against her. Dinner hadn't felt that way at all. It was a relief to get her truth out there. A man she hadn't seen in more than 7 years was stalking her. He'd made her believe her mother was in the hospital, had managed to elude building security at her apartment and deliver a bouquet of yellow flowers, a colour Spencer loved and she despised. But he was a fool to think he could get to her. She was with the police department. That bouquet of flowers was being processed by Roger Sampers, the head of the crime scene unit himself. In only 6 months, San Francisco had started to feel like home. Here, for the first time, she had her own space. She was in charge of her own work, which gave her the opportunity to give it the focus it deserved and to excel at something she loved. Because she was good, she was appreciated, she had the support of her peers, she had friends. A ridiculous thought for a 36-year-old woman, but there it was. She liked it here. Seattle had always been temporary. The first city away from Spencer, a place to regroup, finish her training. Seattle was perfect for that period of her life. She was a doctor now, ready to begin her career, put roots down. She had spent long enough looking over one shoulder. She was determined to stay in San Francisco, even more so after the evening with those women. She made her final notes and signed off on the work. Her phone buzzed in her pocket as she was sliding the body back into the drawer. She snapped off her gloves and pulled the phone from her lab coat. Hal. "You're psychic," she said in lieu of hello. "Oh yeah?" Homicide investigator Hal Harris said. In the 6 months they had worked together, she and Hal had created a comfortable banter that made cases with him her favourites. "How's that?" "I just finished our burn victim." "And?" Hal asked. Autopsy showed massive bilateral pulmonary thromboembolism with pulmonary infarction. Hal groaned. "English, Schwartzman." "Natural causes," she said. "He died of massive blood clots in his lungs." "Guy dies of natural causes, then drops a cigarette in bed and torches his own house." Hal had a knack for pointing out the ironies of their job, but they were always relieved when the autopsy revealed a death was due to natural causes. "Yep, you want me to call Hayley?" "No, I'll tell her," Hal said. "You ready for another one?" "Sure," Schwartzman said. She was always game for another case, lost in a case at the morgue, home alone with a book, or occasionally an old black and white movie, usually one her father had loved. Those were her best moments. The distractions were all the more important now that Spencer had found her again. The phone calls, the creepy bouquet of yellow flowers that had appeared outside her apartment door. Worse was the fact that no one in the heavily secured building could explain how the delivery man gained access to her floor. 7 years and 5 months since she'd left him, and he would not give up. "I'll text the address and send over a picture from dispatch," Hal said. "I'm about 5 minutes out." "I'll try to leave here in the next 10. "Great," Hal said. "See you then." She was ready to end the call when he said, "Hey, Schwartzman." "Yeah?" "Nice work on that last one." She smiled. Hal was good at praising his peers. Herself, the crime scene techs, the patrol officers. It was another of his endearing qualities. "Thanks, Hal." She ended the call and removed her lab coat, hanging it in her narrow locker. After exchanging the orange Crocs she wore in the lab for her street shoes, she packed up her case for the scene. Her phone buzzed with the address Hal had sent. She double-clicked on the attached image, waited as it loaded. The image came into focus. A woman, about Schwartzman's age, wavy brunette hair, laid out on her bed. Shivers rippled across Schwartzman's skin like aftershocks. Someone had already put a sheet over her legs and stomach, as though she'd been found nude, but a thin stripe of her clothing was visible above her waist. Other than the pale colour of her skin, she might have been sleeping. In her hands was a small bouquet of yellow flowers. And what happens next? I need to know. This is amazing. So let me show you that cover again. That's a spectacular first chapter, isn't it? EXHUME by Danielle Girard. Out now, the first in the Schwartzman series, book 1 of 4, I believe. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoy. I'm so glad Facebook didn't drop me today. Once again, I'll be saving this video to Instagram and of course to Facebook. Oh, thank you, Danielle. She just said you're fabulous, Hannah. No, you are. Your words. This is a fantastic book, and we have lots of people making comments and about how much they've. Jennifer Drummer says, "Dang, add that to my TBR pile." Yeah, no kidding, right? Oh, and we have actually a question from Audio Shelf. Hi, Brad. So Danielle, he's interested in how you come up with different storylines for a thriller series. That's an excellent question. So I'm going to save this. So Danielle, if you want to pop on an answer on Instagram now to answer that question, go right ahead while I chat about the book that I will be reading to you from tomorrow. So tomorrow's book, I'm so excited for this one, is The Kill Club. The Kill Club is by my great friend Wendy Hurd, and it is, I was going to say it's killer. Oh, geez, mom joke. So this is what I will be reading to you from tomorrow, The Kill Club, which is already out and absolutely phenomenal. So that will be tomorrow's book. So as always, I'll be reading to you again at 11:30 a.m. ET, both on Instagram Live and on Facebook Live, and I hope that you will join me then. So until then, as always, please stay safe, stay kind, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.